All right. So, did you know that about 60% of the president's daily intel brief comes from just this one agency, and that would be the NSA, right? And this is coming from a book called The Secret Sentry, The Untold History of the NSA by Matthew M. Aid. Here is the cover, if you care about that. But it's not too long, not too bad. But basically, who is Matthew M. Aid? Because it's about a pretty, I guess, wishy-washy topic in a way. Anyways, but he's known as a leading intelligence historian and kind of like an expert on the NSA. He was a Russian linguist for the NSA while in the Air Force. Had some fun stuff happen to him. But later on in his life, basically, he was like a scholar or some research fellow in the National Archives, and basically kind of found out that a few three-letter agencies pulled about 25,000 records from the National Archives for further classification. And as kind of a retaliation, his military records were, released. Basically, mostly about him being court-martialed when he was a staff sergeant. Let's see. He was court-martialed for unauthorized possession of classified documents and impersonating an officer, and was imprisoned for the year of 1986. And then basically he claims, this release of his records was purely was in pure retaliation of basically him talking about all the records pulled from the archives. It doesn't matter. So what is this book? Basically, it's the history of SIGINT and comment, kind of from the end of World War II to about the Obama administration, about 2008. SIGINT and comment is signals and communications intelligence. But the book is basically the history of the NSA and like why it was created, and a lot of like some of their biggest downfalls that have happened throughout the history, and also some of their biggest triumphs as well, right? A lot of the book is about basically intel in the Middle East, especially since they talk pretty in depth. Part of the reasons why, at least the precursor to the NSA was created, it seems, and then that eventually developed into the NSA, was the lack of transparency in the Soviet Union after World War II, since they couldn't actually, the Soviet Union was so, what's the word they use? I guess just resistance to human, basically like your classic kind of humans intelligence, like putting in spies and that sort of stuff, through the typical kind of means you see in like the movies and such. So they went to SIGINT basically instead. And really that's kind of like why that, why this kind of agency or type of intelligence gathering really grew. So it really talks, it's really a general history. He breaks it up into like different kind of sessions in a way. So like directly after World War II, the Korean War goes in depth with the creation of the NSA in general, goes in depth, talks about like the Eisenhower administration, the Kennedy administration, Gulf of Tonkin, Johnson administration, a bunch of kind of breaks it up into the different presidential administrations and such. And a lot of, there's some 9/11 stuff in here as well, but a lot of pretty much everything in the Middle East was over there. And talks about, that's probably at least 40% of the book, just from roughly looking at it. But anyways, so to take a quote more encompassing of it, so from Eastern Europe to Korea to Iraq and Afghanistan, the NSA has played a key role in America's geopolitical successes and some of its most serious failures. Aid follows the NSA from its tense beginning in the Cold War to its controversial role in the War on Terror, right? And so That's pretty much it. Why you should kind of care about this book. I mean, like, if I'm trying to think of how to word it, because it's a lot, especially in a lot of the controversy and stuff that seems to have popped up, at least since I've been, I guess, like a conscious adult. Is why wouldn't you want to learn about it, right? If they're really that big of a player behind everything, just kind of a general awareness on things. I kind of want to keep this one a little more open-ended just because of what it is. But in terms of, I guess, housekeeping, he does have literally almost 100 pages of just notes and citations and stuff, if you care about that kind of stuff. So, like, there's a lot of, like, you can find, like, he says a lot of things that are kind of hard to believe, I guess, but he pretty much always has a citation, like, every few sentences, it feels. So, like, you can definitely find more information on it. Talks a lot about different platforms and stuff. There was some of the SIGINT stuff from, like, that the Navy does that I didn't know, which was pretty cool, with boats, especially when he talked about the Gulf of Tonkin and stuff. But yeah, kind of want to keep this one short and sweet. Again, here is the cover of the book. It's pretty decent. Really not that long, a little over. The actual, like, content is about 300 pages, roughly. So it doesn't take too long. But anyways, I'm going to leave this one here. If you want me to, well, I might go through in the future and make videos of, like, specific little sources, at least as I kind of, like, get interested and further just research on my own, kind of for fun. But that is kind of an avenue I've been thinking about too, just to learn more. But anyways, I'm gonna leave this one here. So I'm gonna leave the playlist for all the book reviews in the top corner, as always. So I'm gonna leave this one here and hope to see you guys on the next one.